This is absolute lies. I'm going to tell you something. You Africans need to stop speaking on us Aborigines who were deported off of our lands in the British Isles. Stop speaking for our people. You fake wannabe British Islanders and you fake wannabe Germans from that mud hut continent that only 30% has any architecture and drinkable water on. And you have the audacity to roll up to my lands in Germany, all those places my ancestors are from, of copper-toned skin, the royal bloodlines. And you have the audacity to say that we, going back to the ancient times of AD, of the original royals of the lands, of the Jacobites, of every piece of history, and you have the audacity to say that we migrated from those lands that didn't even exist yet. Show me a map of Africa in 1500, man. And to the person who tagged me to this, I have since removed that person. They know who they are. I will not have them on my page tagging me into nonsense. This is the only time I answer an African any point of this video. All right? Don't ever talk about our people in Ireland, of the original people, or of Scotland, or of Germany, or of Switzerland. Yes, we have copper people that's still there to this day. Or Scotland, we got a brother up there also. Many of them still there today. Ireland as well. Right? Even Eastern Europe. So don't you dare tell us we came from Africa. That's a load of bollocks, man. You're a liar. You are a bull-faced liar. And I have my family bloodline and I have the freaking phenotype to prove I come from there. I grew up in the United States. That's the only difference. Minus that, guess what? Them bloodlines stay strong. You can't take that away. You little immigrants love coming to our countries over there. And then you love cosplaying as the original people. And it drives me absolutely insane. I'm tired of you cosplayers. It's time for us to take back what we truly are. If you read The American Discovery of Europe, you would see that Black Americans, aka American Indians, traveled to Europe. Then you had Aborigines of the land that were already in Europe. And those so-called Moors, that story you like to use, they came from the Americas. The American Discovery of Europe, Volume 1. You can go read that book and stop being stupid and ignorant. How about that? And then you can read America's the Old World, Volume 2. Then you can read America's the Old World, the Original Africa. Oh, that's going to smack you right upside your head. It shows how you guys are fabricated melanin. You're not even us. That name don't even belong to that continent. It belongs to South America. But you wouldn't know that because you don't read. But you thought you ate with this stuff, huh? You thought you ate with this one, huh, man? Teaching lies about the European continent. You guys as Africans need to stop tying yourself to my continent. Because that's where my ancestors bled and died and were deported from. Not imported. You guys didn't get there till the 1900s through most of Europe, and it was a small population. We're still the majority in Europe as the original people. I got a whole map posted about every country there, about our population there. And it's not you, the majority. There's even 2 census records in Ireland. That's just an example. You have Black Irish, which is like the Black American, right? Because there's a Black American, right? And a Nigerian American, right? Okay, there's a Black Irish, right? And a Nigerian Irish, right? That's 2 sets of people. Get that through your thick school. I know what you're doing. You're trying to engineer another lie to tie us to you. We are not you. We don't want to be you. Not if you're a liar like that. And even if you try to, we're not the same. That's based on DNA, right? Which DEA, that's a whole different story. That's based on, again, the migration from the Americas long ago, which can be proven. And also, that goes back to, what did we talk about before? Phenotype. You do not have a phenotype. You're an African. You come from that continent. You did not rule anything in Europe. So we're going to shut that down. We were already in Europe before the white English came. The Negro Question Part 4. That's another book you can read and get your ignorant butt educated on, man. How about that? And that little fake Irish accent you got going on right there. Fake British accent. Whatever the bloody hell that is, man. Fake. When people talk to me, they say when you unlock your true identity, they say you have a real ancient Irish accent. I said, oh, I know. I know. It doesn't exist much anymore. But go ahead and keep teaching lies about our people. We're going to keep smacking you Africans on the top of the head with truth. Because you cannot tell lies about the European continent of Queen Europa. She wasn't African either. Fun fact for you. I just found out she's related to the Queen of California. The melanated Queen of California. She's related to her. And she was the one that went over to Europe and named it in the first place. You can go ahead and look that up, Queen Europa. She's not an African. She's indigenous to the Americas. So you've been corrected. Get out of my face and don't talk about us no more. Because you're an immigrant from Africa. Stop speaking for true Aborigine European history. Because Europe is not a white word. It's a word from people of color. Aborigines from the Americas who migrated there and built those castles and the legacy and the thrones and the freaking royals. All right? They came much later to whitewash everything. During the Renaissance era, even in Italy. I know guys in Italy with copper tone skin who talk about this right now to me. Germany. We know somebody living from Germany through Ellis Island. An original German. Not myself. Enough with your lies. You scumbag. Alright? We don't want to hear from you Africans no more. Get the hell out of my face. The God has spoken. You know what? I wasn't even going to answer. Shows out to my Switzerland ancestry. See, I'm always showing what I am. Of the copper-toed skin. Original people of the Queen Europa's land. That came from the Americas. Alright? See, you don't want us teaching truth over here. You want to have your little African, booty scratching self tie all the way up into our European history on our continent and Asia and all of these other places we built before these people even came. Now, we're going to stop that now. So, as you guys can see, this person here says you're mocking pretendians. First of all, the so-called Black Americans or American Indians. This has been proven by genealogy. Number two, by DNA, which is DEA. But you know what? That's a conversation for another day. All right, let's go even deeper. Okay? Why is it every single time that the so-called, you call them Black Americans, do the so-called family tree, why do they always go back to the Americas and not one African slave is found in that tree? Not one. But then the Native Americans only have genealogical records till 1850 onward. So you said they came through the Bering Strait, right? I grew up in Anchorage, Alaska. And if you think I'm talking bollocks, man, look at that right there. What does that say right there? Alaskan. Right on this hat right here. That's Alaskan right there, right? Okay. Where can you buy this at? Well, this is hard to get outside Alaska. I can tell you that right now. They don't have too many hats like that no more. So you can only buy that at Walmart in Anchorage, Alaska. That's the only place you can get hats like that customly made. All right? So that's where I grew up at. And I can tell you right now, there's melanated people of copper-toned skin that live in Anchorage, Alaska as well, who've been there for generations before them Siberian, Mongolian migrants immigrated to the Americas. They were brought over during the Spanish Crown. That's why I like being in the Philippines. This conversation could go so deep. But you know what? I'm not going to go there right now. All right, because I'm going to tell you some of these people here that are modern day Filipinos to that so-called Native American stuff as well. Because they're tied into that as well. And these are the lies that people perpetuate in these countries. All right? Those people that you see of copper-toned skin in the Americas, even in Alaska, right? The melanated ones, they were already there. These people didn't come from Africa. You get what I'm saying? Why can't they find one slave in their tree? You're still not answering this question. So how are they pretendians? Native Americans are pretendians. People that come from here, the modern day Filipino, are pretendians. People that came from Japan there, because they came to Mexico too, the pretendians. And they don't even come from these nations. Oh, don't get me started. Don't get me started. I'm telling you, I'll go in on people here too. If you watch it, you want the smoke, by all means, come ahead and comment. That's why you guys are so quiet. You don't want that smoke. I got your documents. You don't want that smoke. Your time is up. You little sellout Africans, your time is up. You little sellout American Indians, your time is up. You little sellout Aborigines of Europe, your time is up. You little white people sellouts, your time is up. You little wannabe Spanish, your time is up. You little fake Arabs, your time is up. Your time is up for all of y'all. All right, these people are the ancient ones of the land, because the Americas is the oldest landmass on this planet that cannot be argued. Africa came much later, man. You people weren't even around yet. Check your maps in 1500. You didn't even have no more than 5 million on your whole continent. And West Africa had jungle. And then outside West Africa was all desert in 1500. So how do we come from Africa? Exactly. Close your mouth. You can't speak on a subject you don't know because your people weren't in existence yet. Just like the modern day Filipino. You love to get in our business. You weren't even in existence yet here. You came 200... What? You came 200 years ago. 250, 250. I'm just giving you breadcrumbs at that point. You came 250 years ago here. Through Spanish colonization. And then have the audacity to that like you know what you're talking about. I'm calling them out too. I'm calling all of y'all out. You better come with some receipts when you talking about our people. If you don't know what you're talking about, if you ain't got no family tree documents to back what you're saying, I advise you to keep your mouth shut. Because this isn't the time to start talking when you don't know anything. Because we're hitting people on the head. Not with fists, but with knowledge. We're tired of your lies. Of all of you. Especially comments like that. He's mocking pretend. I'm mocking you over in Africa. I'm mocking people like you here in Manila. I'm mocking people like you in Osaka. I'm mocking people like you in Dubai. Because you're the fakers. You're the fakers. You're the pretendians. You're the wannabes. You're the never were's. That's just the way it is. And you will never change anything I'm teaching. Right? To those of you telling truth, I'm not talking to you directly. All right? I don't care what your color is. The point is, these people know who they are. And they know what they're saying. Right there. That comment. That trash. Right? Like I said, Native Americans came in 1850. End of discussion. We're going to end it there. They came in 1850. They came in 1850. Guess what? Spanish colonization was going on at that time still. They came in 1850. And what did they do in the Americas? They labeled them all Aboriginal or American Indians. Indians in 1850. Across Canada down to Argentina. And then here, they stopped in 1821 in the Philippines. Shouts out to Dre the Chosen One for putting me on that knowledge. All right, because I didn't know in the Philippines they stopped in 1821 labeling these people that. The ones who came later. They tried the destiny swap. Didn't work. Didn't work because some people said, I'll just go ahead and get out of Manila. I'll go ahead and get out of here. I'll go ahead and get out of there. They just leave. They weren't stupid. That's what I'm telling you. All right, we're going to go ahead and close this out, man. I'll talk to you guys later. I'm done talking. Get this peon out of my face. The God has spoken.
So I just want to say shout out to anybody who pulled up to the live stream that we had directly today. Much love, respect, and appreciation. So this may be, you know, a replay for some of you guys directly there. But again, this is a shorter version directly of that. At no point in time that I've covered this have I ever felt a type of pride, you know, when looking at a video where a person is speaking to the exact same people that we're talking to, and in a sense speaking the exact same points, right? So the brother there is basically stating that where it is that he is, right? He is Irish, right? He's been, you know, all over, but he's simply stating that what I am is what I am. It doesn't matter what you Africans are even stating. It has no bearing on anything. I have proof, documentation, and paperwork to go against whatever narrative that you specifically have. Just because you see something, just because you dictated a certain type of way, does not make it so, right? Your belief does not trump what it is that I am. And I'm not going to allow you to brand me any other type of way. I respect that 1,000%. And then he further proceeded to not only just go directly after the Africans, he put everybody directly out there. Everybody directly out there. And then he even went to the furthest extent of which he didn't have to even sit up there and go to. He even started talking about Black Americans and talking about how Black Americans are indigenous to America. This is the exact same thing that we have been saying for the longest time possible. We've been standing directly on this hill. This is our hill. We're going to be fighting this. Right? He even went to, and like I said before, him just jumping into this conversation, trying to give correction because he sees the disrespect because it's happening on his side. He then, even within his own argument, showcased a type of respect for Black Americans. And y'all wonder why it is, for the Africans out there, y'all wonder why it is that we are over there on Irish and Scottish TikTok and we're trying to have conversations with these folks. This is why. We don't know them from a can of paint. We don't really know nothing about them. And you at least have one representative here who decided the battle that he is having to correct Africans, that he wanted to show some type of respect towards Black Americans when he did not have to at all. He didn't have to say nothing. He didn't have to mention nothing but Black Americans, but he did. And he did it in the most positive way possible, while getting across his point about him and his lineage and his bloodline. This is exactly why Black Americans have respect for other people, and we have a lack of respect for others directly out there. Because a lot of the videos that I've covered, we have had Africans left and right, up and down, deciding that they want to specifically dictate, brand, and talk to Black Americans. Y'all want to try to talk to us as if we're your kids. You want to try to son us, which doesn't even make any sense. You guys want to pull up to the scene and try to act as though that you can educate us on our own history, and you cannot, because you've never lived it. You don't have the experience. A lot of y'all talking ain't even been to America, right? Or if you did, it might have been just a vacation stop. Like, it's crazy how you guys get online every single day and want to masquerade, and y'all want to try to talk some type of talk when it deals with Black America. It's crazy how that works. And y'all wonder why it is that we have the response that we have. And then y'all want to come out the blue and y'all want to try to come at this guy and many others. And y'all like, oh, little do Black Americans know, ha ha ha, that these are actually Africans and these are actually Caribbeans. Whatever they say that they are is whatever they say that they are. Whatever they say that they are is whatever they say that they are. Again, y'all still not learning a lesson. Shut up. Stop trying to tell other people, Africans, stop trying to tell other people what it is that you think that they are. Or what it is, quote unquote, so that you say that you know that they. Stop doing that. This is why people have an animosity. This is why people don't like it. This is why people ain't trying to sit up there and hear you. This is why you're receiving the type of disrespect, the type of negative energy thrown directly back at you, because you don't know how to shut up. You don't know how to listen directly to people when they're telling you something. You always want to be some type of know-it-all. You always want to make it seem as though that you're the most knowledgeable. You're so knowledgeable about others, but yet you don't know nothing about yourselves to the point of actually fixing your countries of which you run and flee from. But you got the audacity. You got the gall to get online and make videos specifically about us, and then at the same time tell us, Black Americans, you're not the main character. You're not the center of the universe. If that is the case, then start talking about other people. If we are not the center of the universe, if we are not the main character, if we are not the gods that we believe ourselves to be, then start highlighting and talking about other people. Make money off of other groups of people. Then have those conversations with other groups of people. You're not, and you won't, and you can't. Because you know how that's going to play out, and it's not going to be in your best interest. Like I said, you know better. You know who to talk about, and you know who not to talk about. You know better. This is why we are having the conversations that we have. This is why I've been given the rebuttals that I've been given for months, if not in some instances years. Because I've covered other videos way before all of this is taking place in 2024 and 2020. I covered videos similar to these types of sentiments from Africans, even as far back as maybe like 2019 and 2020, like years and years ago, years and years and years. But like I said, shout out to this brother here. Shout out to you for toting the line, for drawing that line directly in the sand, for telling those Africans that it doesn't matter, but one way or another, they are going to respect you. Much love, respect, and appreciation. I admire stuff like that. I love hearing people speak with such pride and conviction, where I know that everything that you're speaking is coming from every facet, every fiber, every atom of your being, because that is you. That is who you are. And like I said, at no point in time would I ever question that, because I can see it. Now, when it deals with these Africans directly out here coming through and running and fleeing and cosplaying, that's a whole nother story. Because they love to sit up there and be everything else but their actual selves. Because as I stated before, with the amount of pride and the amount of culture, just within the garbs that Africans wear, right? Beautiful, beautiful cloth, beautiful clothing. You don't see that in America. You don't see Africans just like freely going to and from dressing as Africans. Nah, they sitting up there dressing as Black Americans. And I'm like, that is 1000% crazy to me. Because I'm like, literally in every single stitch of your clothing is a type of ancestry, is a type of history. But y'all speak of this pride and y'all don't show it. Y'all don't even wear it. That's crazy to me. I would think out of all places where you'll want to really show who it is that you are, when you come to America, you'll make sure to do that. Y'all don't do it. And I wonder why. I wonder why. So again, for the Africans out there, how much pride do you actually really have? Because let me go to another country. You're seeing me wear Black American everything. My style is going to be present. I don't care what everybody else is sitting up there wearing. You will sit up there and see me wearing my style directly in whatever country I'm in. But like I said, that's us though. That's how we, that's how we move. But anyways, let me know. And again, shout out and much love and appreciation to anybody who did pull up to that live stream. Love y'all a lot. Thank you all, for the things that y'all do, for how it is that you're just so, can't get more right. Thank y'all for how it is that y'all just so happen to, show up. It's been a long day. I've been talking for 5 hours on the live stream. So my brain at this moment in time is gray. So I'm just going to leave all of these errors directly in there. I'm not even re-recording anything. I don't even feel like it. I'm just being honest. I'm just going to leave it as is. So if you made it this far, let me know. Like I said, there's a lot of, doubling over and talking and whatnot going on. Because I'm trying to, really get my thoughts directly there. But again, much love, respect, and appreciation to, all of you guys for pulling up and showing up when it is that you can, if you happen to get the notifications and, different things of that nature. Love you guys a lot. And again, let me know what you guys think about the video, everything that the Irishman, stated on everything that he basically said in both videos. And maybe I might have got the flags wrong. Again, if I did, my apology. This is why I say like the Black Irish and the Black Scots, directly in the video, because we covered a lot of stuff in the live stream for over 5 hours. So yeah, but anyways, let me know what you guys feel and think in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.